I have this written down. Let me tell you, boyos, about Johann Christian Süß. Maybe I can find his Wikipedia page, if he has one. Let's see if Johann Christian Süß earned a Wikipedia page. He did, in German. He has a German Wikipedia page. I don't think I have a built-in translator in Brave, unfortunately. So here is Johann Christian Süß. I'll just read my comment about this incident. Let me tell you, boys, about Johann Christian Süß, a 21-year-old German pleb serving on a U-boat during World War II. He was executed 2 days after Germany had surrendered. But he was executed by the Germans, not the Allies, for, quote-unquote, undermining male discipline. Or more exactly, for refusing, this is what he was executed for refusing to salute and showing his senior officers disrespect. Now, you're a 21-year-old boy, you clearly don't believe in anything that this Nazi government is preaching. You're stuck in a fucking U-boat, a metal coffin. It's the end of the war, and yet you know that anything you do, your death would be in vain, unquestionably, considering the state of Nazi Germany at this point. You know that it's over for Nazi Germany. You're only 21. You're probably still a virgin in 1945 at the age of 21. You're on a fucking U-boat. It's the end of the war. Germany is sinking. And you're stuck on a U-boat. You should be out there in the sun. Sun and steel. Yet you're in a fucking metal coffin underwater. That's the last place you want to be. I worked a warehouse job for a night shift, loading containers. It was a distribution center in Brampton, Ontario, Canadian Tire distribution center. I was a shipper, not a receiver, just a shipper. Shipping was harder than receiving. Receiving, you just got to unload the goddamn containers and put the product in its place. With shipping, if you're a shipper, it's like Tetris. You have to maximize the space in the container, because then in the trailer, you're loading trailers, that's a better word, because then the trailer has to go to stage 2, and at stage 2 they need X number of cubic meters to load their goods in phase 2. So anyway, it was a very dusty, dirty environment, and I was working the night shift there, and this is paradise compared to a fucking U-boat. It's paradise compared to a submarine, where you're completely inferior and subordinate. Zero sun, zero fresh air. And you know that you can die at any moment. For what? In the name of what? Anyway, he refused to salute and show his senior officers respect. So he was executed. And the man who sentenced him to death was the naval officer Bernhard Rogge, R-O-G-G-E. Let's see if he has a Wikipedia page. Bernhard earned himself an English language Wikipedia page, you see. So poor Johann Süß. Poor young Johann Christian Süß, who was executed at the age of 21. After the war ended. After it ended. Under the orders of this fucker, this VIP son of a bitch, who went on to live a very nice life and died in 1982 at the age of 83, this son of a fucking whore. He became, after World War II, he became a vice admiral of the German Navy. He became a vice by the end of World War II, and when the West German Navy was established after the war, returned to service as rear admiral. He also was one of the few German officers of flag rank who was not arrested by the Allies after the war. This was due to the way he had exercised his command of Atlantis. Nothing happened to him. He died at the age of 83, became a rear admiral after World War II. even though that he clearly committed a crime here. He clearly committed a disgusting crime, sentencing a 21-year-old innocent German pleb to death after the war had ended. The man who sentenced him to death was the naval officer Bernhard Rogge, who died in 1982 and lived to the ripe old age of 84. He was never charged or arrested by the Allies for any of his deeds. In fact, he was promoted to the prestigious position of Rear Admiral of the West German Navy after World War II. Bernhard Rogge was quarter Jewish, but that is largely irrelevant here. What is relevant is that he was a VIP and sentenced young German plebs to death for basically nothing. Squished them like literal insects. We as plebs, this is the takeaway here, we as plebs are not and will never be the VIP Rogge. We are the conscripted insect Johann Christian Süß, and we are viewed as insects by the elites, all elites of all races and creeds. Okay? So all those Stormfront cells who worship Nazi high command, who worship Hitler, who worship being Leonidas, some white nationalist state that would require them to fight and die. They have these idealistic visions, even though most of them are dysgenic, but there are some who are fit and armed and think they're ready to go to war, start a militia, what have you. They would be treated like Johann Christian Süß, squished like a literal fucking insect the moment they disrespected any of their officers or refused to salute. They would be sent to the Russian front, to the Soviet front, to freeze to death, to be blown to smithereens, while Hitler was recording Eva Braun doing fucking attention-whoring yoga at lakes. Johann Christian Süß, that is who a Stormfront cell would be. And they would squish him, that Stormfront cell, like an insect. The very people the very people he worships now would squish him like an insect, because he's nothing more than an insect, a cog. That is you are always a cog as a pleb. It doesn't matter which system you live in, you're a fucking cog and will be an insect and will be treated as such. Never forget it. Be Achilles, not Leonidas.